Recently, a considerably important outlook on Bitcoin was posted on the internet, which took many by wonder. The tweet by PlanB quickly got retweeted and became important to many investors. But who is PlanB? And what does it say on Bitcoin?
Okay, time for Plan B.
Hey people, welcome to Moneymaker. Moneymaker is a channel dedicated to helping others become financially independent, FIRE movement through cryptocurrency trading and investing. The FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early is our focus. We will share our views on Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies, interesting stocks, and online moneymakers. In today's video, we will be talking about Plan B and what does it say on Bitcoin. But before we start, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Done? Let's get started. Bitcoin was the first digital object that cannot be copied, duplicated, pirated, or forged. These are exactly the primary attributes that give its unique value. It is also the first digitally scarce thing known to mankind, and within its inner workings, there is a mathematical mechanism that would make its value continue to rise. Each Bitcoin is mined from what are called blocks. A block is a 1 MB piece of information that carries the details of all transactions that take place within a period of time. A new block is developed roughly every 10 minutes. The Bitcoin network has been generating blocks without any interruption ever since it was implemented. The first block, or the Genesis block, was generated on the 3rd of January 2009, and the reward for mining it was 50 Bitcoins. Every block added onto it had the same mining reward, but on the generation of every 210,000 blocks, the mining reward is halved. This event is called halving, which cuts in half the reward value distributed to miners from that moment on. In other words, from block 210,000 onwards, the reward is halved to 25 BTC. From block 420,000 onwards, it's halved to 12.5 BTC, and so on. Since new blocks are generated every 10 minutes, halving events take place every 35,000 hours, which is almost exactly every 4 years. Halving events will continue taking place until the reward for miners reaches 0 BTC. Since Bitcoin's value representation has 8 decimal places, after the 33rd halving, the value of the reward will hit precisely 0 BTC. 33 halving events every 4 years adds up to 132 years total. The last Bitcoin to be mined into existence will be mined in the year 2140. It will be the 21 millionth Bitcoin to come into existence, and last, after which point will be impossible to create any more. From then on, Bitcoin will become truly deflationary since minting or mining new coins will no longer be possible at all. If owners continue to lose their private keys, as most people currently are, then the supply would further deflate by that lost keys ratio. The stock-to-flow is a number that describes how many years of mining are required to achieve the current stock with the current production rate. The higher the number, the higher the price. As mentioned earlier, it is impossible to copy or forge Bitcoins, and the total supply of it is strictly limited. All transactions are written in blocks, i.e. the blockchain, and nobody can spend coins that belong to someone else's Bitcoin address. A Bitcoin address is like an account in your bank account, in which you can make deposits, but without providing access to the important private keys that are required to spend its contents. That is where the scarcity part comes into use. Technically, the meaning of scarcity is when something is difficult to come across in nature or in the lab. This is very similar to precious metals. Once something becomes scarce enough, it can be used as money. Stock-to-flow is defined as a relationship between production and current stock that is out there. The stock-to-flow is the number that we get when we divide the total stock by yearly production, or the flow. The number by itself tells us how many years are required at the current production rate in order to produce what's in the current stock. A really good example is gold. Gold has a production rate of around 3,000 metric tons, and the current stock in the whole world is estimated to be 185,000 metric tons. If we put in that formula, we get an approximate value of 62. At the current production rate, it will take 62 years to dig out all the gold that's currently in circulation. The higher the number, the more the scarcity. Now, let's see how this connects to Bitcoin. There are around 18 million Bitcoins in circulation since September 2019, and 1,800 BTC are generated every day, which is 657,000 per year. So if we put those numbers in stock-to-flow formula, you get 27. This means that we need 27 years of current Bitcoin production in order to produce the current stock. This number is much smaller than gold, but Bitcoin has something that gold doesn't: the halvings we discussed earlier. At the time of the halving event in May 2020, Bitcoins were to be produced at a rate of 900 Bitcoins per day, and by that time there were around 18,375,000 coins in circulation. The stock-to-flow had climbed to 52, which is much closer to gold. The following halving in 2024 will raise that number to 113, and don't forget that gold has stock-to-flow of just 62 and it doesn't have the halving events. Now contrast Bitcoin's dynamic stock-to-flow with gold's, whose stock-to-flow of 62 is not likely to increase. With all that being said, now let's talk about PlanB.
We'll just move on to Plan B.
PlanB has identified himself to be an institutional investor who is 40 years old and has a very good experience with investing, especially in crypto. He claims to have degrees in economics and law. His Twitter evidently shows that he has been following Bitcoin for a while now and is an expert at it. In his blog in 2019 March, he has clearly explained what we talked about earlier with the same examples of gold and commodities. In that article, he concluded by saying that Bitcoin is the first scarce digital object the world has ever seen. It is scarce like silver and gold and can be sent over the internet, radio, satellite, and many more. A statistically significant relationship between stock-to-flow and market value exists. He noted that the likelihood that the relationship between stock-to-flow and market value is caused by chance is close to zero. Adding confidence in the model, he stated gold and silver, which are totally different markets, are in line with the Bitcoin model values for SF, which shows that there is indication of a power law relationship. His model predicts a Bitcoin market value of $1 trillion after halving in May 2020, which translates into a Bitcoin price of $55,000. In another blog of his in April 2020, he talks about phase transitions and S2FX models. He explains clearly how the model works and everything to know in a very layman language by using the example of phase change in water while explaining the phase transitions. In that article, he solidifies the basis of the current S2F model by removing time and adding other assets like silver and gold to the model. He calls this new model the BTC S2F cross asset or the S2FX model. This model enables valuation of different assets like silver, gold, and BTC with one formula. He has also explained the concept of phase transitions, and the phase transitions introduce a new way of thinking about BTC and S2F. He shows that the S2FX model formula has a perfect fit to the data, which is 99.7% R2. The model estimates a market value of the next BTC cluster to be $5.5 trillion. This translates into a BTC price of $288,000. He explains by solidifying known facts from the original S2F study and explains that the S2FX model offers a new way of thinking about BTC transitioning into the fifth phase. He seems to have a very good knowledge on the economy side as well as the mathematical and market side of Bitcoin. He also shares a lot of insights on his Twitter handle too. PlanB could possibly have a great influence on Bitcoin investors from now on, but we can only see if it all turns out right. With that, we have come to the end of today's video. If you found the video interesting, make sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned and let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. See you again with another interesting video. Until then, bye.